Hi guys, today I'm going to kick things off with a really cool find I found at my local dollar store. Kind of a fun little tool that I bought for one reason and it's turned into a tool for something else. But first I'm going to get to today's pour. What I'm going to do today is just a basic pour. I'll swipe it if I have to, but I'm just kind of playing around with this idea. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a dirty pour into this cup with these blue cool colors. Then I'm going to do a dirty pour with these brown warm colors in this cup. I'm going to have black laced between both of these, so in the whole thing will have black. A little bit of silicone, then I'm going to pour both the warm and the cool colors together and see what we get. It could be a big mess, it could be really gorgeous. There's really no plan here, I just kind of thought it would be a fun idea to try a double dirty pour. So we're going to double down today. And so far, I've been using the CRC Heavy Duty Silicone and it's working great for me. A lot of people like to put it in a bottle, like something like this. This is actually water that I use, but you can take it outside, spray it into a bottle and have a little dropper if you want to do that. I just kind of hold it by the window that's next to me and spray it so it goes right out the window. So if you're hearing breezes right now, that's because we had one heck of a thunder and lightning storm all this afternoon, and it's still a little breezy, but that's why it took me so long to get out here. So we're going to get these mixed up and put together. But first, let me get some of this stuff out of the way. I want to show you this dollar store find I found. I'm sure I wasn't the first, but man. Okay, so I do stuff with, you know, if I got runoff from a pour or I've got extra paint after a pour, I don't like to waste it. So I'll either pour skins. A lot of times what I've been doing lately, thank you so much Anne-Marie Ritterhoff for this, but she introduced me to Yupo paper. And it's not really paper, but I love Yupo. I'm doing a lot on it, so that's actually what we're going to pour on today is Yupo. And I've got it for anyone who is new. I have an Amazon A store. I'm affiliated with Amazon now because I buy a lot of my products there, and this way if you're looking for something that I'm using, chances are it's going to be in my A store, and I've got a link to that down below in the comments, and I also have a link to it at the top of my website at KMcDonaldstudios.com. So one of the things that I get off of YouTube is my Yupo paper, and that will be in my A store down below, as I said. But this is what it looks like, and it's not paper. It's hard for me to explain, but if you look up Yupo, Y-U-P-O, on Google it, it'll tell you what it is. But it's fantastic for if you don't have a lot of space and maybe you want to do a painting. You can do skins on it. I know there's people that pour skins on it because in some cases you can peel them off. I don't even want to go to that trouble. So I just pour right on the Yupo, and if I want to cut it up for a card or if framing a large piece works out, just so the neat thing about Yupo is that it can go left or right in any number of ways to create a project. So if I pour a really good piece today, I can do something with the big piece overall. If only a smaller piece is something I'm interested in, I can cut that out and frame it. Or if it all looks bad, where's a good example of that? Oh, I think I put, oh, here it is. This is a good example of a pour that, yeah, I didn't end up liking. I even varnished it just to see. But see, it's all flexible and the paint's not going anywhere. And that's just some bleed from under my tape. But I'll take this X-Acto knife and cut pieces out for whatever kind of projects. But if I do one that I'm not in love with, I still keep this because I have a big project coming up that this is perfect for. So even if we trash this piece of Yupo paper, it'll still have a life in art, hopefully. So on to what I found at the dollar store, because the whole X-Acto knife was the lead up to that. I was looking for something that I could cut my Yupo paper on and not destroy all my pieces of wood in the studio. So I'm at the dollar store and I find this. You've probably seen them before and thought, oh, they're so thin, those are pieces of junk. But for this use, it's perfect. And when I got home, I hadn't looked closely. There's 2 sheets in this. So once I took it out, I started thinking, wait a minute, that might make a better tool. Thank God there's 2, because I can cut on one, and I cut the other one up to make a swiping tool. You can go either way with it. You can go small with it. So I've already used it. It works fantastic. It's got a slick side, and it's got and either side works. I even took a little hole punch and it punched right through a hole so I can hang it on the wall when I'm done with it. So that's my little tip for the dollar store. It's these chopping mats. They're thin enough that I was able to cut them with my scissors, and you can swipe with them. They work great. So I'm going to go back and get probably 6 more and make all different kinds of edges. Might work better than the drag tool. We don't know. Okay, so I'm going to get these all mixed up and I'll get you started on how I based this out. Sit too long, but I'm going to get this mess out of here, get the camera a little closer, and we'll get started. And I think we're set to go here. I prepped this last night. What I did, this is just a board. Thanks, Pat. That's when I was first starting to learn how to burn wood. But what I did was, I just have a block that when I do this, I like to put, if I can, if it'll fit inside of a Ziploc, I'll put it here. That way I keep paint off as many things as possible. I did check for level on this, and it was slightly unlevel, so once I put the stir stick there, it seemed to be perfect. So it looks like we're good to go here. But what I did last night on the Yupo is I taped it on here, and here's a little tip. If you think you may be swiping, this is just a nice little side note. I mean, you never know. If you do a pour that gone wrong, we all know that there's been those times where we've had to swipe and spend sometimes more often than we'd want to. But for when you are going to swipe, tape these ends first, and then tape the sides where you're in the direction you're going to swipe. Then you have less friction hitting these edges, if that makes sense. But it does help for a cleaner swipe. So there's your little tip for today. So I've got these colors together. The color that I have on here, it's not a high cost. Matter of fact, it's folk art. It's a metallic called Ice Blue. And I put this on here last night. I wanted to use a pearl that I had, but I didn't have enough. I wanted a little bit of a metallic background here. And one thing I don't like when I am painting on Yupo is when it gets down to where it bubbles up and you can see the white underneath. In some cases that works, but in a lot I don't like the look. So I thought I would do a dry background or prime this with something in the background that if it did show through, it would still mix well with the colors that I'm pouring here. I don't know if you can see this, but already some pretty cool stuff happening in the cup. I like the colors. I hope they work the way I thought they were, well, the way I want them to. I'm just going to put a little cross in this, and then we're going to pour. Oh, I love these colors already. I went obviously a little more with the blue, you saw that. And let's see, let's just circle it around. Oh, pretty, pretty, pretty. I'm going to break up some of that brown. Maybe a little more here. They're mixing together a lot better than I even thought they would. I love it when I come up with a scheme or a color palette for a painting and I'll think, oh, those will just look great together. And I pour it and they look like crap. Well, this one didn't disappoint today. I already love the colors. You can see the copper coming through, that little cinnamony, peanut butterish colors coming through right next to the copper. Oh, this makes me happy. Alright, just make sure we've got our tools handy. Get some of this. I'm going to torch some of this before I start moving it around too much. Get some of that oil moving. There we go. Slick it up here a little bit and help this out. And I go to, because I don't want to bunge all the pretty work in the middle out. And if it has a hard time flowing, it could pull some of your really cool cells that are in the center or discombobulate them. Might help if I got all my tools and crap out of my table. Oh, here's another cool dollar store deal I got to sift my paint. Guess how much it was? Okay, yeah, I just snorted. I don't like where that's going. I did disjoint it a little bit. Plus, my paint is a little thicker than I thought it was. We may have to swipe this. Get some of this darker blue off the bottom first. Air will help. Did you see my jacked up little tool there? It works though. I'm going to draw some of these blues through. See if I have enough even. I know you're probably going, stop, stop, but there's a method, at least I hope, to my madness on this. getting ready to jump to resin work, I'm hoping. But I've been using a tool like, you know, the blower for a lot of years. But I think the difference is I know when you jump to resin that you use it on a hot setting. When I'm using it on acrylics, I use it on the cold setting because I don't want to dry the paint too quickly so that it cracks or does any other wonky weird thing. But so far this is looking pretty cool. There was some red that I put in the brown just to warm it up a little bit, and a little chunk of it got through, which is cool. I'm digging it. Not a lot of the black came through. I just laced it a little bit, which is what I wanted, but I can live with this. There is some jankiness in here, and I'm going to swipe that. One more swipe and we'll be done. Let's cross our fingers. Alright, well, my cool new tool from the dollar store. Which direction do I want to go? I want more blue, so I'm going to turn this. God, there's just some really neat stuff happening over here though. I don't necessarily want to touch that, so let's try this. Okay, there's something new. This. I think I just want to feather this little bit here towards that, and then I'm done. No, that's not enough. Okay, need to get a better blower than that. Oh, yes. I cannot wait to do this with resin. But resin's expensive, so I'm just saving my pennies. Oh, there's little specks of red here and there. Oh, perfect. Alright, well, I'm going to get these gloves off and come over there and grab you so you can check out how cool this is kind of turning out over here. I love the mixture of colors. Alright. Whoop whoop. Alrighty. Trying to get around the lights again this time, but at least you get an idea. That turned out pretty neat. And as you can see where the tape is, that's the edges, so a lot of this stuff on the edges isn't going to come in, but all that stuff in the middle will be in there. Look at those cells. Let's get in there a little closer. So, I guess that gives you an idea. It turned out pretty nice. I doubt I'll be able to cut this one up depending on what it looks like. So when it gets all dry, I'll turn the camera back on and give you a peek as to what it looks like.